Language, both verbal and nonverbal, we've talked about. We've also talked about how language is a symbol. It's symbolic. What we haven't covered on that slide is the last part, the Shapiro-Wolf hypothesis. Now, Shapiro and Wolf are linguists, and they're going to study, of course, linguists study language. And Shapiro and Wolf are going to look at that writing by C. Wright Mills. And they're going to look at that word man. A man takes new heart. A man does this. And they're going to say, is that fair to women? To have the masculine tense be the default tense? And to have men be seen as superior in language to women? So they're going to say language not only describes the culture, it also shapes the culture. Words not only describe, they shape the behavior of the members of the culture as well. They control it. Now, when I'm growing up, I would guarantee you everybody that came to the door to deliver mail to my front porch was a man. There were no women delivering the mail. Period. That was a man job. And they called them at the time mailman, because they were all men. The same with police when they showed up. It was always a policeman who came. There were no police women. Same with firemen. So when people came and there was a fire, they were always male. Shapiro and Wolf said that language then discouraged women at that era from going into those occupations because those occupations were seen as masculine occupations. It shaped the behavior and kept a lot of women from being what they would like to be. So they started looking at language and they started saying maybe we should change the language to make it language neutral, sexual neutral. So these are the guys that eventually caused you to have to write he/she when you're writing an article. Now, policeman became what? Police officer. Mailman became carrier, mail carrier. And fireman became firefighters. Now, do you see the difference? We took the sexual tone out of it. So Shapiro and Wolf says we got to be careful with language because language not only describes, but it also shapes or changes the behavior of the members of the society. It's very powerful. Eyewitnesses distort what they see. Anybody who's a police officer will tell you that. You roll up on a scene, you'll get 4 or 5 different stories of what happened because people will see things very differently and assign meaning in different ways. And long term, after the thing has happened, memories will deteriorate too. Loftus asked people, how fast was this car going when it crashed into the building? She shows a film of an old car running into a building that falls down, an old shed. And then she says, how fast was it going when it ran into the building? And if she uses the word ran, the mile per hour drops by 20 miles per hour. Simply from the word. Now here's the end of this. People in a college at Princeton go in and there's a group of people in law school and the professor says, someone stole my case. Have I told you this? And the people run out, the guy comes in, steals his case and runs out of the room. Actually, the professor has him do it. And then he asks all these 70 people, describe him, write down what you saw and turn it in so I'll know so we can. And he gets tall, thin, black, white, Hispanic, short, plaid shirt, blue blazer, hat, no hat. The description just goes on and on and on. Different. Then he takes, and this is the interesting part, he takes two groups and he shows a 6-person lineup to one group, and he says, now, we're not sure that the person who stole this is in this group. We know he had a big chin, but we're not sure he's one of these. Look and see if you recognize him. To the other 30, he says, here's 6 people. We're confident that one of them is the person who did this. We know they had a big chin. That's all we know. And when he came running back in, the professor, he said, the person who had a big chin did this. That's actually a hypnotic suggestion at the time. So in this one where he says, we're pretty sure he's in here, everybody picked somebody out of the lineup. He's actually not in there. And in the 6th where the introduction was different, then lots of people don't pick somebody out of that lineup. And if they do pick somebody, they pick the person with the prominent chin. So eyewitness is not what you think it is.